Today we're talking about film festivals.
That adds color to the story.
Roll sound. Cameras rolling.
Welcome to Butter City, show all about filmmaking with a Minnesota twist. Today we got Amanda Becker, an amazing filmmaker, documentary filmmaker, and narrative. Thank you for coming to the show, Amanda.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Just stop by.
So I know you're in the grips of this film project for Fresh Filmmakers, A Hole in the Wall. But before we get to that exciting project, let's go back a little bit and think about how you kind of even got into filmmaking. I know you went to film school out in Vancouver. So what was it that inspired you to decide to start your film career?
You know, I had been interested in movies from probably high school, working at a movie theater. That was really my high school job. And then when I got to college, I went to McAllister and I took a lot of film courses there. That was actually my introduction to college, was a film analysis class. And my professor there was extremely intense, Clay Steinman, in case he's watching this. I learned a whole new way of looking at films from his class. And they didn't have a major at McAllister, but I did take as many courses as I could in film. I spent a summer of my sophomore year of college in New York taking the NYU film production course there. And that's when I really realized how much I loved making films. I went away to Russia after college for 2 years. I did the Peace Corps there, and of course in that 2-year period started to develop a lot of story ideas and thoughts about people and observations, and realized when I came back that I was a little lost in my direction in what I wanted to pursue. And a couple years of being home, realized, you know, I just needed to go to film school, because I felt like that would allow me to just be focused and would give me the opportunities to actually make films, as opposed to sort of just trying to get a group of people together and figure it all out, which is another way to do it. So I enrolled in the Vancouver Film School, which is a 1-year intensive program. And that turned out to be amazing. And I think it was just the right timing for me. I was 28, and I came just like ready to go. And it's a little bit competitive. They only pick 3 projects each semester, and they only pick so many scripts to produce each semester. But I kind of just, I think, honed in on a little bit of self-confidence and what I felt like my voice and my ideas were. And I think that was sort of my foundation to starting to think about filmmaking and how I would be a filmmaker, really.
You know, something that I think shows in your work is, I mean, let me know if you agree with this, but I think going to the film school and spending that time kind of studying film even before you got there, it's like your work didn't have to go through that period, you know, when somebody doesn't go through film school. It's like you can see you have the technique down from the beginning. You know, and it's like, and you have these clear ideas about what kind of stories you want to tell, and it's almost like that gave you sort of that jump start. So right out the gate, you know, your shots look great, and you can tell that you know how to think in that dimension.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it was really interesting for me. I was in a class of about 23 kids, and they were from all around the world, and they were anywhere from 18 years old to, I think, 35 was the oldest. But for me, coming in, I felt fairly confident in my storytelling voice. But you're right. I mean, the protocol of filmmaking, the different positions and roles and why they're necessary, I mean, those are all things that you know, it's really important to know that, because it's sort of like, it's like a machine, and it's like taking apart the machine and figuring out why each component is important and why they all need to go together and what makes a good running machine. And you know if that one part is weak and it's so important, you know, that assistant director is so important. And if they're just not on top of their game or they're not the best they could be, that it slows the machine down and it slows the process down. And so for me, in my filmmaking process, I find that all of these components are really important. And ultimately, you know, coming at things as a writer and director, for me, the integrity of story is always important. But to make it, you have to be thinking about all of these moving parts. So yeah, that was very helpful.
So how, set up the background for this clip we're going to watch, The Secret. I know you did this for a film competition, but what was the theme, or was it just it had to be about a secret?
Yeah, the theme was secrets, and that was the title of my film. It was, I after film school then moved to Seattle and felt a little lost because I didn't decide to move to LA or New York and get a career and work up the ladder. I ended up in Seattle, and I was trying to get creative with the people I'd met and resources. And I had met this woman through film school who also lived there. And you know, we were trying to brainstorm, like, let's just start making stuff. We know how, we have ideas. And so we came across this website called filmmaker.com, which is still functioning. And they do this great, you know, monthly competition where they give you a theme and you have to make a 2 to 3 minute film and upload it by the deadline. And so this was my secrets.
Great. Let's take a look at this.
Okay.
You know, Amanda, I love that shot when you got the camera that's pulling away from the neighbor. But it's like the piece, it's like the music's awesome. But it's like the shots, you can tell that it's just, you know what you're doing, you know, like you just, you construct things and you know how to think about the camera and to think about the story and how to use the tools to enhance the story. And you did this piece, which is a narrative piece, but then you also do documentary work as well. So I know recently you did Pete's Palace, which is about a friend of yours that was like creating a like monstrous pile of frozen water in the back of his yard. Do you want to talk a little bit about that story and how you found it?
Sure. So I guess, as you can kind of tell from Secrets, I mean, I'm kind of a study of people and environments. I sort of consider myself a people-place researcher. And my good friend Pete, who I've known for about 10 years, I mean, he's always had some crazy project happening that, you know, he just kind of casually brings into conversation one day. And he mentioned to me on New Year's Eve, I was over there, and he said, you know, I have to take a break and go outside and fill some tubs up with water. And I said, okay, I'm coming outside too. And sure enough, he had, you know, like 15 or 20 big giant tubs, just, you know, from the store, filling them up with water to make into gigantic ice cubes that he was carving down to create this sort of ice palace that he wanted to have sort of this big party in. He had this big idea of, you know, sort of this grandiose backyard ice palace. And, you know, I knew he would do it, and I, for the first time, realized, you know, I need to document this. And I had no idea about a story, about anything, but I know Pete, and I wanted to shoot him in the solitude of working on this and see what the outcome was going to be, because sometimes he finishes things and sometimes he doesn't. And I thought maybe this will make him accountable and he'll finish it.
So let's take a look at this clip, and then I've got some questions about whether or not he did it again. But
So today it's about 9 degrees, which is a pretty good temp. Okay, because less than that and it sucks, and more than that and it sucks. Although I prefer less than that, even though it sucks. This was poured yesterday, or no, 2 days ago. And you can see it's about 2 inches thick, and this is one that is going to be part of the roof. So I wanted to build not an ice hotel, but like have an ice hotel themed party, kind of to break up the winter. So the party is going to be a winter warmer. So this is just the theme. So it's really not building this for the sake of building it. I'm building it for the sake of a party for one night, just so people can have a little bit more fun while they get drunk. A lot of work for that.
Is that the right word? He's the psychologist, so maybe he knows.
What word? For what?
Pathology?
For what?
Pathological, the way that you approach or do your projects?
Dedication. Uses up a lot of water. I had to go buy some totes. I spend maybe an hour or so, not quite every night, but many nights. It's late at night, so I guess it's really not that big of a strain on the family or anything like that. But There's something peaceful about being here late at night. I want it to be complete, but I know I'm going to be sad when it's done. I had a good day yesterday. I didn't break any of my totes.
So I know that this film was really well received, and it went on to play in a lot of different film festivals. Did he just, and I don't want to give away the ending, but I know that he does like a party, and that's kind of one of the goals. Is he planning to do another one of these, and then you can have like a screening of this at the party?
Yeah, you know, we actually kind of did that. We had another party shortly after this party, and showed it, and I think people really liked it because a lot of them had been at that party as well, so they got to sort of see them looking around. Yeah, and I find that so. What I love about documentary filmmaking is you discover the story along the way, and the process that Pete, the emotional sort of journey he went on, I didn't anticipate that at all. I really just thought it was going to be documenting. And I really found, I think just naturally, that he came to this realization that all of this time alone and solitude and this goal, he had this goal to share something creative with all of these people, was ultimately a process he went on, and it wasn't really about the end product, even though everyone loved the end product. But at that point, he almost didn't even see that. He couldn't see how much people appreciated it because he was so in the zone. And I felt like that reflected my process of making the film. It's the same thing I feel when I'm making a film, is that the process becomes so much more intriguing to me than the final product, even though that's ultimately what you share with everyone. Yeah. But for me, it's such a long process making a movie that I find that's why people like to watch the behind the scenes, and they like to read about how movies get made, because it's so intriguing and complicated and messy.
I know that so you made this piece, and you've been writing a bunch of different scripts, and sort of planning this next piece that you've been working on right now. When you finished Pete's Palace, was there a specific thing in your mind that you were like, the next project I do, I want to do this? Because, that kind of came out of, because every project leads to, next time I'm going to do something different. Was there something that you brought into this piece, A Hole in the Wall, that came out of Pete's Palace?
That's a really good question, actually. I haven't thought of that, but realizing it now, and I hope not to get too personal with Pete, but Pete had lost his father not too long before I sort of filmed him on this journey. And Pete's father had done a lot of projects with him. They had built houses together and fixed cars together, and their relationship was really interesting to me. When I decided to shoot Pete, part of my interest was, how is he going to go through this alone? How is he going to go through this journey of creating something by himself? And I think from that, I started to think more about relationships, and how I've always wanted to explore how to show relationships visually, because I find that so much more interesting than just dialogue. And so I think I've just always kind of kept my ears open to something that's more about a dynamic between two people, as opposed to one person trying to explore one individual person. I wanted to explore a dynamic between two people.
I think, folks, we should take a look at this clip from the film you're working on right now, A Hole in the Wall, because it does that. This film is about taking, and it's interesting to hear you talk about Pete's journey in that process, and see how now, seeing that and seeing this new work, you can really see that relationship building. And it's that nice jump from documentary to narrative and how you learn from one and the other. But let's watch this clip.
Okay.
Hello? No, I can't right now. I'm on my way. I'm gonna need Mom to come get me.
You do a great job of isolating the hole that's clearly in this bedroom wall. And you know, the name of the film is A Hole in the Wall. But this project is a testament to your growing as a storyteller in the sense that you're doing a lot of this showing the story rather than telling the story. So you let the camera sit on things, which I think is beautiful about your work. But this project came out of this program, the Fresh Filmmakers with IFP. Do you want to say a little bit about that program and sort of where this film is going?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so the Fresh Filmmakers is something that started, I think, 3 years ago through IFP, and you submit a short script. It has to be less than 10 pages. And then you have to submit a budget and, you know, sort of your idea for the film. And I had done it, I had submitted a year before and hadn't gotten it, and then had come up with this story between this father and son and this sort of tenuous relationship based on somebody that I knew and sort of had some thoughts about, you know, trying to understand how to visually represent sort of a difficult father-son relationship. And they took to it. They liked the script, and they picked me, which was a great honor, because the best thing about it is you don't necessarily get a lot of money, but you get complete community support. Mm-hmm. And you get it in the realest way, which is that, you know, you still have to pull everyone together. You still have to run the circus. You still have to make decisions, and you still have to beg and plead. But people are there. They're there to support you. There's mentors that are there to help guide you. I've met some amazing people through it, Jeff Stonehouse and a number of other people that are just big community supporters. So for me, this film it hasn't just been an opportunity, it's been a total leap to a next level for me in terms of trying things. And I feel like it's been really hard. It's been really hard. It's like that really difficult point in a marathon, you know, when it hurts and you have to just keep running because you know it's going to be so good at the end. And that's how I feel right now. I feel really like, you know, I've got the tight calf muscles and everything hurts. But I believe in this project so much that I feel like I need to push through to the end. And it has been a challenge for me with sort of a documentary focused background to move into this narrative style. So that's really where my biggest struggle has been.
Well, you know, I know that this piece is going to be beautiful. It already is. I mean, the pieces that I've seen. If folks wanted to see kind of the other examples of what you've done, where would they find that?
You know, I'm really bad. I'm really bad at promoting myself and getting things out there. So I don't have a website. I do have a blog for this film I've done. And then you can also go to Vimeo, which is a website, the Vimeo site, and you can probably type in my name, Amanda Becker, and you'll be able to see, I think I have about 20 short pieces on there. So.
Well, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to come out here and share your work, and it's great work.
you.
And I can't wait to be at the premiere of A Hole in the Wall.
Gives me butterflies.
And thank you for watching Butter City. It's a show all about filmmaking with a Minnesota connection. You can check us out at buttercity.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you.